The Grand Council chamber was larger than anything the humans had seen before. Thousands of representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in rising tiers around a central speaking platform. The human delegation felt small as they entered. "Remember," Hart whispered, "we represent all of humanity now." They were led to the central platform, where senior adjudicators Skital introduced them. "The delegation from Earth will address the Council regarding their petition to avoid containment." Hart stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we come before you not to beg, but to offer partnership." She spoke of Earth's history, not hiding its conflicts but showing how each challenge had pushed humans to grow and improve. As she finished, Dr. West took her place. "Your assessments have shown that humans are different from most Council species," he said. "We evolved on a world that demanded adaptation. Earth sits at what you call a nexus point, where cosmic forces created unique conditions." Murmurs spread through the chamber. West continued, showing data on his tablet. "Our genetic diversity within just one species is greater than the combined diversity of dozens of Council races. We're not just another civilization. We're something new to you." When West finished, Sam and Diane presented examples of human ingenuity, creativity, and problem-solving. Then Kevin stepped forward. "Many of you have already decided that humans are dangerous," he said bluntly. "You're right. We are dangerous, to threats, to stagnation, to any force that would limit potential." The chamber grew quiet. Kevin looked directly at the Council leaders. "But we're also dangerous in ways you need. We see solutions where others see only problems. We find hope in desperate situations. We adapt when others would fail." Before the Council could respond, alarms blared. The main doors opened, and a group of aliens entered quickly. Among them was Major Jack Collins from Earth. Skital moved to intercept them. "This is highly irregular. How did an Earth ship arrive without detection?" The alien leading the new group, a tall being with shimmering skin, raised a hand for silence. "I am Elder Vox of the First Founders," he announced. "This human contacted us directly with information too important to ignore." The Council chamber erupted in shocked voices. Hart looked at Kevin, who seemed unsurprised. "Phase 2, he whispered. Jack Collins joined the Earth delegation on the platform. He carried an ancient-looking container. "Honorable Council," Jack said, "while researching Earth's position at the galactic nexus, we discovered artifacts buried deep in our planet's crust. They contain markings identical to these." He opened the container, revealing stone tablets with strange symbols. Elder Vox examined them, then turned to the Council. "These are writings of the architects, the first civilization that spread life throughout our galaxy eons ago. They vanished, but left markers and predictions." Dr. West studied the symbols. "Our ancient human myths have similar patterns. We thought they were just stories." Elder Vox nodded. "The architects predicted a world would form at the nexus point, and that life there would evolve differently, with greater variation, adaptability, and potential than anywhere else." The Council chamber was completely silent now. "The architects called this world the Crucible," Elder Vox continued. "They said its people would either destroy themselves or become the key to unlocking the next stage of galactic evolution. Earth is this crucible," Hart realized. "Yes," Elder Vox confirmed. "That is why some Council factions feared you. They knew what your existence might mean." A group of Council members rose in protest. Their leader, Chief Security Officer Drell, stepped forward. "This changes nothing. Humans are unpredictable and dangerous. They must be contained before they disrupt the balance we've maintained for millennia." "A balance that has become stagnation," Kevin countered. "Your civilization has stopped growing, stopped taking risks." "We stopped making mistakes," Drell argued. "And therefore stopped learning," Hart replied. "Mistakes are how we improve." The debate spread through the chamber. Some Council members supported Earth, others called for containment. The division was clear. Elder Vox raised his hands. "This matter must be decided by vote. All representatives will now cast their decision. Will Earth be welcomed as a full council member or placed under containment? The humans watched as thousands of lights appeared above the chamber, red for containment, blue for membership. The colors were evenly mixed, neither side gaining clear advantage. It appears we are at an impasse, Elder Vox said. The beeping of her phone woke Commander Olivia Hart from a deep sleep. She groaned and reached for it in the darkness. The clock read 3:17 am. Hart, she mumbled. Commander, this is Lieutenant Frost at Deep Space Monitoring. You need to see this now. 20 minutes later, Olivia stood in her uniform in the control room of the International Space Defense Initiative. The giant screen showed something impossible. A massive object had appeared near Jupiter's orbit. It hadn't been there 6 hours ago. What am I looking at, Lieutenant? She asked, though she already knew. They all knew. It's a ship, ma'am, and it's not one of ours. The room fell silent. After decades of listening to the stars, something had finally answered. Get me the president, Olivia said. By dawn, the news had spread worldwide. An alien vessel nearly 5 miles long had emerged from what scientists were calling a spatial rift, just beyond Jupiter, and it was broadcasting a message in English, Mandarin, Spanish, Arabic, and a dozen other Earth languages. Major Jack Collins played the message again in the hastily established Extraterrestrial Communication Division's main office. People of Earth, said the calm, slightly mechanical voice. You have been discovered by the Galactic Council, governing body of the 317 spacefaring species of this sector. In accordance with Protocol 7b regarding newly discovered technological civilizations, you are hereby invited to send representatives for evaluation and classification. Coordinates follow. He switched it off and looked at the room full of military officers, politicians, and scientists. They're giving us 3 days to respond, he said. A general pounded his fist on the table. It's a trick. They're invading. If they wanted to invade, they wouldn't announce themselves, Jack said calmly. They wouldn't need to. Outside the government buildings, the world was in chaos. Some people packed supplies and fled to remote areas. Others gathered in churches, mosques, and temples. Many just went to work as usual, not knowing what else to do. Dr. Alan West, who had been studying theoretical alien biology for 15 years, found himself suddenly very popular. News channels wanted his opinion. The president wanted his advice. Everyone expected him to have answers. I don't know anything more than you do, he told the White House advisors who had brought him in. But I can tell you this, if they have 317 species in their council, they've done this before. They have a system. A system for what? Asked the Secretary of Defense. Alan adjusted his glasses nervously. For deciding what happens to us. Later that day, a second message arrived. It was more detailed. Earth has been categorized as a Class 4 emerging technological civilization. You will be evaluated for potential membership in the Galactic Council, or alternatively, for containment protocols. Send 5 representatives to the provided coordinates within your solar system. Further communication will occur at that location. When the message was shared with the public, the word containment caused widespread fear. At an emergency United Nations session, world leaders argued about who should go. Every nation wanted to be represented. Major Jack Collins, watching from the back of the room, stepped forward. If I may, he said, this isn't about nations anymore. We need to send the best humans, regardless of where they're from. And who would that be, Major? Asked the Chinese ambassador skeptically. We need military presence. I suggest Commander Hart. We need scientific knowledge. Dr. West is our foremost xenobiologist. We need cultural understanding. Perhaps an anthropologist like Sam Nguyen. And we need negotiation skills. Diane Powell has resolved 3 major international conflicts. That's 4, said the Secretary General. Who's the 5th? Jack hesitated, then said, Kevin Miller. The room erupted in confusion. No one had heard of Kevin Miller. He's a history teacher from Ohio, Jack explained. And trust me, we'll need him. 3 days later, as the world held its breath, Earth's 5 representatives boarded the specially prepared ship named Earthrise. Their mission: to face judgment from beings more advanced than humanity had ever imagined. As the engines fired up, Commander Hart looked at her unlikely crew. "Whatever happens," she said, "we represent all of humanity now." The Earthrise lifted off, carrying with it the hopes of an entire planet. The Earthrise moved through space faster than any human vessel had traveled before. The engineering team had worked non-stop to upgrade its engines based on the little they could understand from the alien signals technology. In the ship's meeting room, Commander Hart studied her team. Dr. Alan West was reading data on his tablet, his fingers moving quickly across the screen. Diane Powell was practicing greetings in different languages, just in case. Sam Nguyen was writing notes about first contact protocols. And then there was Kevin Miller. The history teacher sat quietly, looking out the window at the stars. He didn't seem nervous or excited, just thoughtful. "Miller," Hart said, walking over to him, "I still don't understand why Major Collins insisted on you joining us." Kevin smiled slightly. "Jack and I went to college together. He thinks I see patterns others miss." "What kind of patterns?" "The kind that repeat throughout human history," Kevin said. "The rise and fall of civilizations, the ways powerful groups treat newcomers." Hart wasn't convinced. "And that helps us how?" "Because," Kevin said, looking directly at her, "we're about to meet the most powerful group humanity has ever encountered." The ship's alarm sounded. They had reached the coordinates. At first, they saw nothing. Then a shimmer appeared in space, like heat rising from hot pavement. The shimmer grew larger until it revealed a massive station, at least 10 miles across. It had been hidden somehow. Technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. "My God," whispered Dr. West. "It's been here all along. In our own solar system." A voice came through their communication system. "Earth vessel Earthrise, proceed to docking Bay 94. Follow the guidance beam." Hart nodded to her pilot, who steered toward a glowing blue light coming from the station. As they approached, they saw hundreds of different ships docked at the station. Some were sleek and shiny, others looked rough and practical. All were clearly not human-made. "Look at the size difference," Sam pointed out. "Some are tiny, others massive. Different species, different needs," Dr. West said, his voice filled with excitement. "This is incredible." The Earthrise docked with a gentle thud. The team gathered their things and stood by the airlock. "Remember," Hart said firmly, "we represent all of Earth. Stay together, follow my lead, and try not to start an interstellar war," Kevin finished with a smile. The airlock door opened, revealing a long hallway made of a smooth pearl-like material. Standing at the end was a figure. It was tall, at least 8 feet, with 4 arms and an insect-like head. Its body was covered in a shimmering material that might have been clothing or might have been part of its body. "I am Senior Adjudicator Skatal," it said, its voice clicking slightly. "I will be your liaison to the Galactic Council." The humans walked forward slowly. Hart led, her back straight and her face calm, though her heart raced. "Commander Olivia Hart," she said, "these are my colleagues from Earth." Skatal's large compound eyes seemed to study each human in turn. It made a gesture with its upper right arm. "Follow me. You will be given quarters and then briefed on the evaluation process." As they walked, they passed other aliens in the hallway. Some looked almost human-like, others were completely different. Floating gas clouds contained in mechanical shells, rolling creatures with dozens of eyes, things that seemed more plant than animal. Many stopped to stare at the humans. Some made gestures that might have been greetings. Others moved away quickly. "They're afraid of us," Diane whispered. "Or disgusted," Sam added. They were led to a section with 5 separate rooms. "These will be your quarters during the 7-day evaluation," Skatal explained. "Tomorrow, you will face the first assessment. technological capability. And what exactly determines if we pass these assessments? Hart asked. Skull's head tilted. Pass. You misunderstand, Commander. These evaluations determine your species' classification. Based on that, the Council will decide if Earth joins as a member world or is placed under containment protocols. And what does containment mean? Dr. West asked. It means, Zkatal said, that your species would be restricted to your home planet, with limited monitored space travel, until you are deemed suitable for wider galactic society. After Zkatal left, the 5 humans gathered in Hart's room. They're deciding our future, Hart said quietly. They're deciding if we get a future, Kevin corrected. And they've already made assumptions about us, which we can use, Diane said. If they underestimate us, that gives us an advantage. Dr. West nodded. Tomorrow will show us just what we're up against. Morning came with strange lights brightening their rooms. The humans met in the hallway, each looking tired but determined. None of them had slept well in the alien surroundings. Ready? Hart asked her team. They nodded. Zkatal arrived promptly. The technology assessment will be conducted by Chief Examiner Vril. Follow me. They walked through winding corridors filled with aliens of all shapes. Some floated, others crawled. The station hummed with activity and strange smells. The assessment chamber was a large room with a half-circle of seated aliens facing a central platform. The humans stood on this platform, feeling like specimens under a microscope. A small gray being with 6 eyes spoke. I am Chief Examiner Vril. We will evaluate your technological development. Begin by explaining your method of faster-than-light travel. Hart looked at Dr. West, who stepped forward. We don't have faster-than-light capability yet. A murmur ran through the watching aliens. Some made sounds that might have been laughter. How did you arrive here then? Vril asked. We traveled at our maximum speed and followed your guidance beam, Hart explained. More murmurs, louder this time. Primitive, someone said clearly. For the next 3 hours, the humans explained Earth's technology. With each answer, the council members seemed more dismissive. When they described their computer systems, however, something changed. You claim your computing technology advanced from basic calculators to quantum processors in less than a century. Vril asked, all 6 eyes blinking rapidly. Yes, Dr. West confirmed. Our technological progress has accelerated greatly in recent decades. Most concerning, muttered a plant-like being nearby. When the session ended, Zkatal led them to a large dining area. You will join other species for the midday meal. The dining hall contained dozens of aliens eating strange foods. The humans were given a table to themselves and served bowls of something that looked like blue rice. It's safe for your biology, Zkatal assured them before leaving. As they ate cautiously, Hart noticed Kevin wandering from their table. Miller, where are you going? She called. Just looking around, he answered, approaching a table where smaller aliens were eating. Dr. West was scanning the food with a small device. Fascinating. The nutritional content is perfectly balanced for humans. They've studied us thoroughly. But they still treat us like children, San noted. Did you see how they reacted when we explained our technology? Diane nodded. They've decided we're primitive. We can use that. Across the room, Kevin was now smiling and somehow communicating with the small aliens. One of them made a gesture, and Kevin copied it, causing the aliens to make chirping sounds that seemed like laughter. Hart was about to call them back when a commotion started near a display of colorful objects at the room's center. Kevin had picked up something that looked like a glowing fruit and taken a bite. Zkatal rushed over. That is not food. It is a ceremonial art piece from the Brel delegation. Kevin stopped chewing. Sorry. It looked like fruit. The bioluminescent components are toxic to most council species, Zkatal said, clearly alarmed. Tastes fine to me, Kevin said with a shrug. A bit like a sour apple. The room had gone silent. Every alien was staring at the humans. Dr. West quickly moved to Kevin's side. checking his vital signs. He's perfectly fine, West said. Human digestive systems can process a wide range of compounds. Impossible, said a tall, thin alien approaching them. Those compounds would poison any normal biology. More aliens gathered, their voices rising in concern and confusion. What else can they consume? One asked nervously. Later, back in their quarters, Hart confronted Kevin. What were you thinking? I was thinking we needed to show them something unexpected, Kevin replied calmly. Now they're confused. That's good. How is that good? Hart demanded. Dr. West intervened. He's right. I've been analyzing the scan data from the other species. Despite their different appearances, most council races have similar biochemistry. They evolved in similar environments with narrow parameters. But Earth, Sam began. Earth is different, West finished. Our planet's constant changes forced life to adapt in ways these species never needed to. We're more resilient, more adaptable. So eating alien art was actually helpful? Hart asked, skeptical. Kevin smiled. They've been studying us, making assumptions about what we can and can't do. Today we challenged those assumptions. Tomorrow is the biological assessment, Diane said. If what Dr. West says is true, then we might surprise them even more, Hart finished, finally understanding. In another part of the station, council members were having their own discussion about the humans. They're unpredictable, one argued. Their technology advances too quickly. And their biology is concerning, added another. Perhaps, a third said quietly, containment is the only safe option. The biological assessment began early the next day. Dr. West and Commander Hart were taken to a sterile white room filled with strange equipment. The rest of the team waited nervously in their quarters. We will need to perform several tests, said the lead examiner, a jellyfish-like being floating in a clear container. They will not be painful. For hours, the two humans were scanned, sampled, and studied. They gave blood, tissue samples, and underwent stress tests that measured their responses to heat, cold, and various atmospheres. Please run on this device until you feel you must stop, the examiner instructed Hart, pointing to something like a treadmill. Hart ran for 45 minutes before the examiner finally told her to stop, even though she could have continued. Most species reach exhaustion much sooner, the jellyfish being noted with surprise. Meanwhile, Dr. West was amazed by the data they showed him about other council races. Your biological diversity across 317 species is remarkable, he said, but also remarkably similar in basic structure. All life follows predictable patterns, the examiner replied. Not on Earth, West said. Our planet has everything from bacteria that live in volcanic vents to fungi that eat radiation. The examiner's body pulsed with blue light. Impossible. Back in their quarters that evening, the team compared notes. They were shocked by our endurance, Hart said, and our pain tolerance. Dr. West nodded excitedly. Their evolutionary environments were stable. Most council species evolved on planets with consistent conditions. Earth's history of ice ages, asteroid impacts, and rapid climate shifts forced life to adapt constantly. So we're the odd ones out, Sam said. We're the survivors, Kevin corrected her. Diane looked troubled. I overheard two council members talking. They called us evolutionary anomalies and potentially destabilizing. That doesn't sound good, Hart frowned. The next day was cultural assessment. Sam Nguyen presented human art, music, literature, and history. The council was impressed by Earth's cultural output, but disturbed by its content. Your stories often include conflict and violence, noted one evaluator. Your most celebrated works describe war and struggle. Those things shaped us, Sam explained. We tell stories about hardship because it helps us understand how to overcome it. A strange fascination, the evaluator commented. While the others were busy with official assessments, Kevin continued wandering the station, talking with service workers and lower-ranked aliens, Hart wanted to stop him, but Diane convinced her otherwise. "He's gathering information," Diane said. "Notice how he's focusing on species who actually make this station run, not just the officials." That evening, a formal announcement came from the Council. Based on preliminary assessments, Earth is currently classified as a Category 3 developing civilization with Category 5 risk factors. The containment proposal is advancing to final consideration. "That's bad," Hart said as they gathered in her quarters. "We need to change their minds before the final vote. We need to understand what they really fear about us," Diane said. Kevin, who had been quiet, finally spoke up. "They fear what they don't understand. And what they don't understand is how humans thrive on challenge." He pulled out a small device he'd somehow acquired. "I've been mapping the political structure of the Council. It's not what it seems." "What do you mean?" Hart asked. "The Council presents itself as a united federation, but it's actually highly stratified. There are founding species who hold most of the power, client species who serve them, and everyone else who just follows along." Dr. West looked intrigued. "How did you figure this out?" "By talking to the cleaning staff, the food preparers, the maintenance workers," Kevin said. "The people no one notices but who see everything." "And?" Hart pressed. "And many of them are fascinated by humans. They've been watching our broadcasts for years. Some even admire us." "We have fans?" Sam asked, surprised. "We have potential allies," Kevin corrected. "And we're going to need them, because tomorrow's threat assessment is going to be the hardest test yet." Across the station, the Council's inner circle was meeting privately. "The humans are unpredictable," said one leader. "Their biology makes no sense. Their history is violent. Their technology advances too quickly." "The containment vote must proceed," agreed another, "for the safety of the Council." A third, older, being raised a limb. "But what if containment fails? What if humans don't accept our judgment?" The room fell silent as they considered this troubling possibility. The threat assessment day arrived with tension hanging in the air. The human delegation was led to a large, circular chamber where dozens of council members watched from tiered seating. "Today we evaluate the potential threat Earth poses to galactic stability," announced a tall, blue-skinned alien. "I am Chief Security Officer Drell." Hart stepped forward. "Earth seeks peaceful relations with all species. Yet your history is filled with warfare," Drell countered, displaying images of Earth's conflicts on large screens. "You developed nuclear weapons and used them against your own kind." "We learn from our mistakes," Hart argued. "Every species must face challenges to grow." "Most species outgrow violence before reaching space," another council member stated. "Your kind seems to embrace it." For hours, the council questioned them about Earth's military, weapons, and conflicts. The mood grew increasingly hostile. During a short break, Hart pulled Kevin aside. "This isn't working. They've already decided we're dangerous." Kevin nodded. "It's time for our countermove. The message from Earth should arrive any minute." "What message?" Hart asked, but Kevin just smiled. When they returned to the chamber, a council aide approached Drell and whispered something. Drell looked surprised. "We have received a transmission from Earth, addressed to this delegation," Drell announced. "It will be displayed." The screens lit up with Major Jack Collins' face. "Greetings from Earth to the Galactic Council," Jack said. "I'm transmitting important information to our delegation. Our scientists have discovered something remarkable about Earth's position in the galaxy." The screen changed to show star maps and data. Dr. West gasped. "Earth sits at a unique point in the galactic spiral," Jack continued. "A nexus where unusual spatial properties exist. This explains our planet's unusual evolutionary history and may be of great interest to the Council." When the message ended, the chamber erupted in whispers. Several high-ranking council members hurried out. "What was that about?" Hart asked West. "He's right," West said, studying the data on his tablet. "Earth's position has unique properties. The council must have known this. Session adjourned for today, Drell announced suddenly. The delegation will return to their quarters until further notice. Back in their rooms, Hart confronted Kevin. You knew about this message. What's really going on? Kevin's usual calm demeanor changed. Jack and I found references in ancient human myths that matched patterns in council documents we accessed. Earth isn't just another planet. It's special somehow. Special enough that they might not contain us, Diane asked. Or special enough that some would want to study us like lab rats, Kevin warned. A soft chime interrupted them as their door opened. Skatal entered, looking agitated. The council is in emergency session, the alien said. Your message has caused complications. What kind of complications? Hart asked. Skatal's compound eyes shifted. There are ancient records about a world at the nexus point. Some believe it's a myth. Others think it has special significance. And Earth is at this nexus, West said. If true, it explains much about your unusual development, Skatal admitted. But it also makes your status more complex. After Skatal left, the humans gathered again. We need allies on the council, Hart said. Kevin, those service workers you've been talking to, can they help? Kevin nodded. Many are from worlds that joined the council recently. They're treated as second-class citizens and resent it. Perfect, Diane said. I can work with that. We need to propose an alternative to containment. Sam looked worried. But some council members are pushing hard for containment. How do we change their minds? We need to show them what makes humans different, West said. Not just our biology or technology, but our approach to problems. A loud alarm suddenly blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed in their quarters. Station alert, came an automated voice. Containment breach in Sector 7. All personnel implement emergency protocols. Hart's military training kicked in. This could be our chance, if we can help during this emergency. We show them what humans do best, Kevin finished. Adapt and overcome. The 5 humans rushed toward the door just as the station shuddered violently. The lights flickered. Whatever's happening, it's serious, West said, checking his tablet. Sector 7 contains the station's main power regulation systems. Then that's where we're going, Hart said firmly. Time to show the council exactly what humans can do in a crisis. The humans rushed through the station's corridors, following emergency signs toward Sector 7. Aliens ran in all directions, some panicking, others trying to maintain order. When they reached the sector entrance, a security barrier blocked their way. Several council security officers stood guard. No access, one said firmly. Return to your quarters immediately. Hart stepped forward. We can help. What's happening in there? Containment failure in the power regulation chamber, the guard answered. The cooling system is failing. If it goes critical, half the station could be destroyed. We have experience with similar systems, Hart insisted. The guard hesitated, then his communication device buzzed. After listening, he looked at the humans with surprise. You are granted emergency access by Senior Administrator Quell. Follow me. They entered Sector 7, where smoke filled the air and warning lights flashed. They were led to a large control room, where several aliens worked frantically at control panels. One, clearly in charge, approached them. I am Administrator Quell. Your message about Earth's position was most interesting, but we have more immediate concerns. Quell pointed to a wall of transparent material. Beyond it was a chamber filled with swirling energy, barely contained by failing equipment. Our main power core is overheating. The coolant system failed, and the backup system is not responding properly. The technicians who understand this technology are trapped in another section. Dr. West studied the readouts on a nearby screen. It's similar to our fusion containment systems, just more advanced. Hart nodded. What do you need us to do? The manual override requires someone to enter the outer chamber, Quell explained. But the radiation levels are too high for most council species. West checked his readings. I think humans could survive the exposure for the time needed. "I'll go," Hart said immediately. "No," Sam interrupted. "We need you here." "I'll go. I worked at a nuclear plant before becoming an anthropologist." After quick instructions from Quell, Sam entered the chamber wearing a protective suit. The aliens watched nervously as she worked on the override controls. "The radiation would kill most species in minutes," Quell commented. "Your biology is remarkably resilient." "We evolved on a planet with changing conditions," West explained while monitoring Sam's vital signs. "Adaptability is our greatest strength." Inside the chamber, Sam's hands moved quickly over the alien controls. Sweat dripped down her face as the heat increased. "The coolant flow is blocked," she called through her communicator. "I need to manually release the pressure." "That's too dangerous," Quell objected. "The pressure release would create a controlled explosion that would restart the system," Kevin finished. "It's counterintuitive but effective." Diane turned to Quell. "Trust us. This is what humans do. We see solutions others don't because we think differently." After a tense moment, Quell nodded. Inside the chamber, Sam found the pressure valve and carefully adjusted it. A loud hissing filled the air, followed by a controlled blast that knocked her off her feet. The energy field in the core chamber stabilized, its color changing from angry red to calm blue. The emergency lights stopped flashing. Normal lighting returned. Sam emerged from the chamber, tired but smiling. "Crisis averted," she said. Quell studied the humans with new interest. "You saved many lives today. Perhaps our assessment of humans has been incomplete." Word of the humans' actions spread quickly through the station. As they walked back to their quarters, many aliens nodded respectfully or made gestures of thanks. That evening, they received a formal message. The Council had called an emergency session to discuss Earth's status, and the delegation was invited to address the full Council. "This is unprecedented," Z'Tal told them. "No species under evaluation has ever addressed the full Council." "What changed their minds?" Hart asked. "Your actions during the crisis, combined with the information about Earth's position at the nexus point," Z'Tal explained. "Some Council members now argue that containment would be a mistake." Kevin smiled. "We showed them what makes humans special. We don't just survive challenges, we grow stronger because of them." "Don't celebrate yet," Diane cautioned. "Tomorrow we face the entire Council. Everything depends on what we say and how we say it." Hart looked at her team. "Then we better make it good. We're not just fighting for ourselves anymore. We're fighting for Earth's future in the galaxy." As they prepared for the most important presentation of their lives, a message arrived from Major Collins. "Standing by for your signal. Phase 2 ready to implement." As the Council chamber fell silent at the impasse, Diane Powell stepped forward. Her skills as Earth's top negotiator were needed now more than ever. "Honorable Council members," she said, her voice calm but strong. "When faced with difficult choices, humans look for a third option." She walked slowly around the platform, making eye contact with various Council representatives. "You've seen us as a choice between two futures, either contained as a threat or accepted as just another member following your rules. But what if there's another path?" Chief Security Officer Drell scoffed. "What other path could there be?" "Partnership," Diane said simply. "Not just membership. Earth doesn't want to merely join the Council as it exists now. We propose something new." Hart and the others looked at her with surprise, but Kevin nodded encouragingly. "For millennia, your Council has maintained order," Diane continued. "But order without growth leads to stagnation. You've avoided mistakes by avoiding risks. Earth offers a different perspective." Elder Vox moved closer. "Explain this partnership." "A reformed Council," Diane said. "One where all species have equal voice, not just the founding members. One that values innovation alongside stability. One that sees diversity as strength, not danger." The chamber erupted in voices, some angry, some intrigued. Diane waited for quiet before continuing. "The architects placed Earth at the nexus point for a reason. They wanted a species that would challenge the status quo, not just maintain it. Dr. West added, "Our scientists have studied the artifacts Jack brought. They contain more than just predictions. They include technology far beyond even the Council's understanding. Technology we are willing to share," Hart said, "if we work together as true partners." Security Officer Drell stepped forward angrily. "This is manipulation. They offer technology they barely understand to buy their way out of containment." "No," Jack Collins countered. "We don't fully understand it yet. That's why we need to work together. Human creativity combined with Council wisdom could unlock these mysteries." Kevin Miller, who had been quiet, finally spoke. "I'm just a history teacher. I study how civilizations rise and fall. And I can tell you this. Every great civilization faced a moment when it had to choose between clinging to the past or embracing a new future." He looked around the chamber. "This is your moment. Choose fear and containment, and eventually you'll stagnate and collapse. Choose partnership, and together we can build something greater than either of us could alone." Elder Vox turned to the Council. "The humans offer wisdom beyond their years. Perhaps this is why the architects foresaw their importance." For several minutes, the Council representatives talked among themselves. Then a new signal came from Elder Vox. "The vote will be taken again, but with a third option: reformed partnership as the humans suggest." As the votes appeared above the chamber, the red lights for containment dwindled. Blue lights for standard membership remained few, but a new color, green for partnership, grew steadily until it dominated the display. "The Council has decided," Elder Vox announced. "Earth will not be contained, nor will it simply join us. Instead, we will form a new partnership, learning from each other. The details will require much discussion, but the path is clear." Security Officer Drell and his supporters looked unhappy but accepted the vote. Many other Council members seemed relieved or excited by the decision. As the session ended, hundreds of Council representatives approached the humans with questions and comments. Species that had avoided them before now sought their perspectives. Later, in their quarters, the team celebrated quietly. "We did it," Hart said. "Earth is safe." "More than safe," Jack corrected. "Earth is now essential to the galaxy's future." Kevin smiled. "We showed them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or even our adaptability. It's our ability to imagine better futures and work to create them." Dr. West studied the data from the artifacts. "The architects left us incredible knowledge. With the Council's help, we might actually understand it." "And with our help," Diane added, "the Council might remember how to dream again." Hart looked out the window at the stars. "Send the message to Earth. We faced the Galactic Council. And we did more than survive. We changed everything." The message traveled across space to a waiting planet. Humanity had passed its first galactic test, not by conquering or submitting, but by offering a new way forward. The stars, once distant and unreachable, were now the beginning of humanity's greatest journey.